Marvil Facturan, just 27 years old, had her entire future ahead of her as a newlywed. But within a week, her life was cut tragically short in the most brutal way possible at the hands of her husband, Mitja Kocinchik, in a horrifying act of betrayal and violence. A case that made many people question how well they know someone. After examining this case, we have a high level of disrespect for Kocinchik and the authorities that may be backing him to save him from going to prison. Welcome to Dark Secrets of the East, where we uncover the untold stories of murder, mystery, and crime. Dive into the shadows with us, where every secret has a story, and every story leaves a mark. Let's get into it. The story starts in February of 2024, and within the next 10 months, the couple will experience the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Having met on social media, their relationship began, and they started dating in April, just 2 months after they started talking. Well, on July 11th, Mitja Kocinchik traveled from his home country of Slovenia to the Philippines to meet his new girlfriend. Some days later, after he arrived in the Philippines, his girlfriend Marvil had her birthday, and he took the opportunity to propose marriage to her despite only having started dating. Right there in Manila, Philippines, they were engaged and got married on July 29th, but they didn't immediately live on their own. After the wedding, Marvil and Mitja spent the next months processing her papers to go to Slovenia. In the meantime, the newly wedded couple lived with the family of the bride in Manila. During this period, the family treated Mitja properly, housing him and feeding him, and to them, he had become a part of their large family. Their son-in-law was even with the couple when Vilma, the bride's mother, celebrated her birthday last year. Throughout all of this, the bride's parents did not see any red flags in Mitja. He even bought food for them from the market several times. The unsuspected man lived with Marvil's family for 3 months before the couple finally left for Europe on December 17th. Apparently, Mitja had prepared a job for his new bride in Slovenia. She worked as a flight steward, and it was her dream to go to Slovenia and work there, so they left. See, one key information here is that Kocinchik worked as a motivational speaker on mental health. On December 31st at 6:30 p.m., less than 2 weeks after the couple left for Slovenia, Marvil's parents received a strange call from embassy authorities. While the New Year's festivities were going on, Facturan was killed, but it wasn't immediately clear who had done it or why. Apparently, Facturan had died from multiple stab wounds and was beaten and stabbed to death on the Sunday evening in the couple's apartment in Bled, Slovenia. Rumors immediately started spreading, suggesting she was killed for insurance money, but the multiple stab wounds she suffered tell a different story, that it would have been a murder of passion. Upon arrival at the scene, however late, the police broke through Kocinchik's door to reach the murderer, who had locked himself in the apartment. Without much investigation, her husband, Mitja Kocinchik, was identified as the primary suspect, and the DFA confirmed that they immediately put him under their custody. However, a twist to the story has emerged. Rather than being sent to jail pending investigation, the suspected murderer was currently being held in a mental institution, as according to some authorities in his home country of Slovenia, he is reportedly recovering from a mental health condition. The reports say the suspect had a history of mental health issues before his arrest. Here, the problem under the law is that he might evade imprisonment and instead stay in a mental facility, as certain organizations have emphasized that the so-called mental health motivational speaker is recovering from a mental illness. By going through his history, Mitja Kocinchik is well known for his speeches on mental illness, personal growth, and combating obesity. He frequently shared inspiring posts emphasizing the importance of overcoming mental challenges, along with scientifically proven information wrapped in humor. He spoke in Slovenian schools and received praise all over the country for his motivational talks. This time, he could not motivate himself out of killing a spouse. Behind closed doors, Mitja was a completely different person. The family of the victim was highly shocked, recalling that Kocinchik had been kind and polite to their family, the motive of the crime being totally unclear to the family. They tried to recall if their daughter had ever mentioned any issues of Kocinchik during their marriage, but couldn't remember any. The situation was unmanageable, especially considering the social media posts where her daughter and Kocinchik appeared happy together. Their posts on Facebook told a completely different story. In some of the posts, Marvil is seen opening gifts and laughing loudly, and in their last post before the gruesome murder, they are both seen in a car vibing to sweet music. From their posts, the newlyweds seemed really happy, but like common couples, they argued. The argument led to a fight, and all of a sudden, multiple stab holes were forced through the victim's body. Neighbors heard cries and screams, but none of them thought to inform the police. Going through their social media accounts, Marvil Facturan was a beautiful woman who enjoyed a great lifestyle. She loved cats and animals. She was a Christian who frequently talked about Jesus. Jesus. On her Facebook account, she wrote, "Until Jesus is enough for you, no person or things will ever be." And she frequently mentioned having her own children. She was also a proud sister who celebrated her sibling getting a professional teacher's license. But even more sad is that Marvil dedicated some of her social media posts to her new husband, who seemed like the most intentional person in the world, as he bought her huge gifts, and even small ones, like mango, which she loved so much. She frequently talked about her dream and plans of going to Europe, but what Europe had for her was not the lush life she had anticipated. On Thursday, January 16th, the Department of Foreign Affairs said that it is coordinating with the Philippine Embassy to expedite the repatriation of the remains of the slain Marvil Facturan Kojanchik to the Philippines and to her family. The family of the victims have since called for justice and have expressed hope that Kojanchik would be imprisoned once it is proven that he killed Facturan, rather than being sent to a psychiatric facility. With the Slovenian authorities being primarily in charge of the case, many are concerned there might be some partiality in the investigations, just to absolve himself of the guilt and possible conviction for murder. Well, one Slovenian senator has asserted the need for a thorough and impartial investigation to ensure that Mitja is held accountable and brought to justice. If found guilty of intentional homicide, his punishment for the first-degree murder could be life imprisonment or 30 years. As in this case, life imprisonment is imposed for intentional homicide, especially if it's committed in a cruel or perfidious manner. However, if he is found to have been under the influence of insanity, the story will be completely different, and Marvil's murder might go truly unpunished. As it is, forensic processes are still being carried out, and the Philippine Embassy, in collaboration with the Department of Foreign Affairs and other related agencies, is working with Slovenian authorities for the thorough investigation of the case. In the words of the Foreign Affairs chairperson, the victim, Marvil Facturan Kojanchik, died because of domestic abuse while on vacation in Bled, Slovenia on December 29th. But domestic violence puts it all in a box. Was the murder planned earlier on before they traveled from the Philippines? Or was it an action that resulted from a sudden anger, as there was barely any warning of what was to come? Well, the facts are, Mitja had an ancient history with mental health issues, which he allegedly overcame, and this became his motivation for teaching others about overcoming mental health problems. His image, which he became popular for, now starkly contrasts the demonic act which he is alleged to commit. I mean, personally, if I was one of the people that went to his motivational talks, I would want my money back. Currently, the case has sparked widespread shock and sorrow, especially among the Filipino community in Slovenia, where Marvil had begun building a new life. While we hope that justice will be served through the courts, it cannot bring her back. What we can do is all remain vigilant about violence against women and actively work to prevent it. Mitja was a role model for the youths, who has now become a lesson for everyone looking to marry foreign internationals to know their partner well and to go through proper counseling. This is just the beginning. Subscribe now, hit the like button, and stay with us as we uncover what's next in the Mitja Kojanchik story.